Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Opoczno. The bells, I can hear them from the church here in Opoczno. Yes, we're on the road with Poland Daily Travel. If you saw the last episode, we looked at the museum in Opoczno. Look, this is a perfect place to stop to get a dose of small town Poland. It's a center of folklore tradition. It's a center of military history. There's a castle. Even though at first glance it doesn't look like a castle, inside you will be pleasantly surprised. And it's really a nice little regional town on the way to more regional towns as we make our way along the Police River. This is going to be a good day and a good series of episodes, and we've got a lot of beautiful sunshine. And look, not even wearing a coat. I might even unzip my my jacket a little bit. Okay, behind me, the first thing I want to show you, and then we'll just go around and look at a couple of other things in town, because, you know, you have to go and seek these things out, and you do that by asking questions. I mean, when you're traveling, if you really want to get to the bottom of a place, you have to talk to people. You have to walk in the streets. You have to look for things. It doesn't all just come to you out of a guidebook. And that's what we do as well. I mean, we read about places, but it doesn't tell you everything until you get on the street, walk in the footpaths of the local people and talk to them. And it helps if you can speak a little Polish, and that's what I speak, a little Polish, and not well. Behind me, this is the monument to the unknown soldier. Why? Why is this important? This is important because this is the center of a lot of military action. You'll say, oh yes, Poland itself is a great battlefield all over. Well, that's true, but this particular area was very important because it had a manufacturing history later, but also during medieval times, there's a network of smaller rivers, and this was used for commerce. Now, as we said, the castle was built, another one of those castles built in the 1300s, middle 1300s, by Kazimierz the Great. And Kazimierz the Great wasn't called great for no reason. He built castles all over this part of the world. But anyway, you see 1914, 1920, and why is that crucial? Because Opoczno was in the center of the First World War actions on the Eastern Front, and during World War II, it was the scene of a lot of actions against, serious actions against the Wehrmacht right at the beginning of the war in 1939 in September, but also it was a hotbed of AK activity. That's Armia Krajowa, the Polish resistance movement. That anybody who reads a little bit of Polish history, as you all have, you know about that already, probably more than I do. But I find it interesting nonetheless to repeat the stories. And just show you a quick look around at a couple of ancient monuments here in the town. Stay with us for that. Be right back. I'm going to go. Tadeusz Kosciuszko. Absolutely. No town is complete, or village in Poland is complete, without a Kosciuszko Square, a Sienkiewicz Square or street. These are names that turn up everywhere. And Kosciuszko is a great example of a worldwide figure, not only in Poland, because he was instrumental in the American Revolution. He was the right hand of George Washington. And there's even a mountain named for him in Australia. How about that? So, close connections with the Anglo-Saxon world. We're in Opoczno. And while it may not look remarkable to you if you read the guidebooks, there are very interesting things, secrets to be uncovered. And one of them I've just found. I didn't read this anywhere, but just by doing a bit of nosy snooping, which you know that I like, I found this building here. That house there belonged to Vincenti Vitos. Who was Vincenti Vitos? Well, I'll tell you. He was from this town. He represented the Polish People's Party. 3 times prime minister in the 1920s. 3 times. I believe it was 1926 or 7. He was overthrown by Mr. Józef Piłsudski. Overthrew him, and Piłsudski became the effective, benevolent dictator of Poland. But at any rate, his big rival was Witos, and Witos lived in that house right behind us. Interesting. Here we have the statue of Kosciuszko, who every Pole can agree is a great hero. Behind me, a more controversial plaque on that building remembering Wincenty Witos, the 3 times premier of Poland, who was deposed by perhaps Poland's greatest hero of the 20th century. No, not Lech Wałęsa, although people know his name, and he's very important. Not John Paul II, although people know his name throughout the world, and he's extremely important, a figure from Poland. No, talking about Marshal Józef Piłsudski, whose statues also are everywhere. Piłsudski, Kosciuszko, Pulaski, Sienkiewicz. These are names to reckon with, and not only. I could go on. Sorry, Madam Curie, should have mentioned you. That's for all the ladies out there. At any rate, let's go on and take a look around. Oh, one more thing, I just forgot. Somewhere here, there used to stand a house which was the home of Esterka, which I believe is Esther in the English language, and she was the lover of Kazimierz the Great back in the 1300s. She was from Opoczno. Her father was a simple tailor. It's like a fairy tale, isn't it? A simple tailor's daughter. She's so beautiful that she captures the eye of the king. Well, she must have had some kind of charms, because whose favors were not available for the king to enjoy? Virtually anyone's. At any rate, we're in Opoczno, and lots of exciting things we're finding out, just doing a little detective work, walk around. Stay with us for the next little segment. Back after the bumper. The 2 faces of Opoczno. I promised you to look at the church. Look behind me. On this side, we have the newer, more stately reconstruction of the church. And on this side, St. Bartholomew's Church. And on this side, we have the remnant of the original part of the church, a medieval church. And in fact, there are some inscriptions here that are amazing. I mean, there's some extremely old writing here, but I mean, I always want to do a brass rubbing with it. It's amazing and quite beautiful, but I don't see a particular date. But I know, because I was told by the curator of the museum, that this is the oldest part of the church here in Opoczno. And what a history Opoczno has. Murder, mayhem, I mean, a microcosm of all Poland's troubles right here in this little town. 50-50 Catholic to Jewish or Christian to Jewish population in 1939, and then all the Jews, of course, shipped out to Treblinka, where they died. And not only that, but the Swedish deluge, the town was completely destroyed, and the Swedes murdered everybody, just like the Germans would do later, murdered anyone of note. Well, the Russians did this to some extent too, didn't they? Anybody who reads that history will know about it. The Swedes did this. The descendants of the Vikings came here, killed all the artisans. What a history you have here in Opoczno. And it's not a wonder. Oh, a devastating fire, at least once. So the town has grown up in a sort of haphazard fashion since the end of the First World War. At any rate, this is Opoczno, and I might have one little trick in store for you. Poland Daily Travel. Watch us, because we're watching you.